is Ron Brown with Tech for Senior Live. I'll be your host today. Please put in the chat where you're from and who you are. When we start reviewing the news articles, if you want to look at our Facebook page, just click here and you can follow the articles along as we go. See you in a moment. Good morning. It's September the 1st. Hey, September the 1st. It's a beautiful sunny day in Comox, British Columbia. I am Ron Brown, and this is Tech for Senior Live. If you are watching this on our YouTube or Facebook feed, welcome. If you are watching this as a YouTube short, just click the description and you can have a link to the show. Today, we're going to be talking about our password manager safe, as well as reviewing all the news of the past week. So stay tuned and we have a great show for you. Now, before we start, I want to introduce everybody to our esteemed panel. Many of you might think we're all sitting in a studio and we're all together having coffee, but that is not the case. We are actually all over the country. Now, we also all come from our Monday show. We have a big show on Monday called Tech for Senior. This is our third year, and I think we're just under 130 episodes. I can't remember. When you get to be a senior, it's hard to count that many, count on my fingers and toes up to 130, but I think we're about 130 or so. And we have this as a Monday show, and Monday is our Zoom meeting. It's a Zoom meeting, and it's broadcast out to YouTube. Today, it's not a Zoom meeting. We are actually broadcasting this to our Facebook page, and Zoom and our YouTube. So if you're over on our Monday Zoom meeting feed, we'll see you next Monday. We're not there. You're in the wrong place. So anyway, just go to our page, our website. And our website, of course, is www.techforsenior.com. There's a big red button there. It says to live stream. Click that and it'll take you right to the meeting. So if you're having problems finding us, that's where you go. Today, as we look at the meeting, if you want to go to our Facebook page, this is our Facebook page, and you can follow the articles that we've posted there through the week. And if you follow us along, you'll be able to find all the articles that the gang all post each week, interesting articles about technology. So that is our Facebook page, and you can follow us along. Today, as we go and talk about things, we're going to talk, of course, the big news this week, of course, is LastPass. And the question is, should you change your password manager? And that's what we're going to talk about. And while I introduce everybody, if you wouldn't mind commenting, if you're out there, we don't know if we're just sitting around having coffee and talking to ourselves, because we have no idea who's out there. So if you put in the chat, if you could tell us who you are and where you're from, and maybe what password manager you use, which is sort of cool, or do you use a password manager? Let us know, and we're going to be talking about that before we go through the news. This, of course, is recorded, as all our shows are. They're recorded, and they'll be on our Facebook page or our YouTube site. And so let me introduce everybody. Now, as I said, we're actually in different countries. We're all over the world, right? So Huey is probably the farthest away. You're in Bradenton, Florida.
Yep.
So I'm in Comox, British Columbia, which is a little island off the west coast of Canada on the other side of the world. You sound pretty. I don't have to shout, really. Can you hear me, Huey?
I hear it's bouncing off the Gulf of Mexico. I'm only a couple of miles from the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah. So it's bouncing off the water. You can hear me okay?
Yep.
Amazing technology, eh? Welcome. So Huey Public is my our co-host on Monday, and so we've been doing the show right from the day one. Yeah, we've had a good week. We did our was learning Chromebooks last week.
Last week, yeah.
Yeah. That's Huey and I do a show, and here, if you want to look, this is our Facebook page, Learning Chromebooks, and we do a show once a month. You can find the information out about that on our website. You can register. It's called Learning Chromebooks, and we talk about Chromebooks and all the things that they do. I guess we've been doing that a couple of years now, eh?
Yeah, it's not quite as long as the Tech for Senior, but we were doing some Chromebook programs before then.
Yeah,
we decided it was needed, so we went ahead and started the Learning Chromebook.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. And then, of course, we have the man who is, how will I introduce him? He's our security expert. He's a man of many talents. He does not only security, he does. He's a prolific producer. Prolific producer of content. You know, if you want to know something about computers, Bob certainly has a busy YouTube channel. He produces a lot of videos. He's a great guy and a great friend, and has been with us since the very first day we started the show. So, Bob Gostisha from Los Lunas, New Mexico.
And we've done 127 episodes so far.
There you go. He's got a better memory than I do.
No, I looked to see.
Oh, you looked it
how
up.
Many we had. Yes. You know, the magic of technology. You can bring up a different browser and do all kinds of research.
There you go. Yeah. So welcome, Bob. And you had a good week?
Yes. Outside of blowing a motor on my swamp cooler, which has now been replaced, and we're back to having our form of AC working again. Everything's okay.
Everything's okay.
But boy, have prices gone up. Woo!
Yeah, they have. The other thing is you've been busy this week. There's lots of happenings in the security world, eh?
Yeah, well, we covered most of that on Monday.
We did.
Of course, things don't stop. There've been more crap
going
on since then.
All right. Well, we'll talk about that in a few minutes.
Yep.
And then, of course, now I'm going to think, how am I going to introduce the next person? I have many different ways of introducing him. But, you know, first of all, he's the nicest guy you'll ever meet, right? He's the president of an international computer organization called APCUG. He's the music director on our show. He fosters lots of music clubs around the country. He's of international repute. His name is Ray Baxter. He's from Pine, Arizona. Did I leave anything out, Ray?
I think you added too much, actually. You know, I love the comment about 127 episodes. I remember when they said it wouldn't last.
I know.
100.
They said that about my marriage too.
Yeah, who said that? I never heard anybody that said it wouldn't last. Who said that? Welcome, Ray. And how's things in Pine? You said it's getting hot down there.
Well, you know, right now it's only in the mid 70s at 9 o'clock in the morning, but particularly Phoenix is expected to get very high temperatures back again, like summer, like the middle of summer, even though this is September. And I have a sister flying in on Friday, actually Saturday morning from Delaware. And this is her first time visiting Phoenix, attending a major conference. But so she's going to be in for a surprise.
Huey, I have a suggestion to make. I
What's
noticed
that?
in the intro, you need to make a little change. We should have 2 Tech for Senior Live things, because you have Bill on there constantly, but quite often it's Ray who's with us. You need to change that and make a separate one so you can do it depending on who's there.
I have done that, and Ron has them. He hasn't made the change.
Oh, you guys don't pick on me this morning.
We're gonna have to pick on Ron for that.
I don't mind. I just enjoy being here. Thank you
I
very much.
haven't. Yeah, I know. I just it's there's only so many hours in the day. Speaking of that, are there? Does anyone listening to us, Huey?
Yeah, you know what? There's a few people out there. Let's take a look.
I wonder if Chris and Jim Gould will be from England. Murray is good morning from Victoria, where it is sunny and mild. Yes, it's a great day here on Vancouver Island. Bernard DeFazio, Sterling Heights Computer Club, Detroit, Michigan. Welcome. Bob Baxter, Bellevue, Washington, 64 degrees going for 80. Stan Wallner, good morning from Orlando, 90 degrees and sunny. Storms expected. Oh, okay. Liz Milford from Ohio. Welcome, Liz. Jean Lingenfelter from Pennsylvania, sunny Pennsylvania. Jolin's here. Welcome, Jolin. Watching quietly abed. Glad I can watch you today. Welcome, Jolin. Yes, thank you for being here. Joan Grieg, hello from Victoria. Big contingent from Victoria. Yeah, Dorothy's here from Victoria. LastPass paid version as used on multiple devices. Yes. Jolin says, they're all from the low country of South Carolina. I am longtime LastPass user. Bob Baxter, I use Bitwarden Password Manager. Ross Rankin, hi from Manitoba. Murray Strom, my latest spam was just before the program, a phone call supposedly from our local area code. Yes. Murray said,
all day long.
Yeah. Murray said, she said we were calling to confirm a charge of the $793 to your Amazon credit card. Of course, I immediately hung up. Odd, Murray, they called me this morning. So I got the same call. Yes, what did you buy for $793? I said, Anyway, Sally's from Kirkland, Washington. Hi, Sally.
And that's it. We're caught up.
Great, good. That's great. So today we want to talk a little bit in our first segment. We want to talk a little bit about password managers. This is a good topic today for a variety of reasons. Of course, with the LastPass breach that we've talked about, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. But we maybe just briefly we could sort of mention what password managers we use. I'm going to tell you that I use LastPass. I also use the Google's password manager built into their browser. But I don't use the paid version. I use the free version of LastPass. Huey, what do you use?
I've been using a program since I had a Palm Pilot and the Palm OS, which would have been the early 1990s, I think. And then when they came out with the PC version, I updated to that. It's called eWallet from IliumSoft, IliumSoft.com. And I've got it on my iPad, on my iPhone. I have it on my Android phone. I have it on my Chromebook, and I also have it on my PC. And they all look at one central database, which is located in my Dropbox, and then each one downloads it and updates, and they sync, and so it's always up to date as soon as I add something to it, and I love it. I've got over 1,200 cards with passwords and key codes for software, and when I purchase software and keep track of that. I keep all of that in my password manager, but I also have LastPass just in case.
Okay. Bob, what do you use?
I've used LastPass forever.
Right.
And about a year ago, I added Bitwarden to the mix.
Oh, okay.
So if something happens to one, the other one's there's got my back.
Okay. I guess that's a lot like what I do with LastPass and Google's, their password.
Well, I use Google and I use Microsoft. That's beside the point. Those are automatically running in the back. Right.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Ray.
I'm embarrassed to say I don't use a password manager.
Okay.
I've always used the fact that I keep the passwords that I can't remember offhand on a spreadsheet that's secured and has its own password to get into. And for the most part, I like what we're going to call pass keys. This is biometric. So I have on one desktop a biometric camera And this again is facial recognition, and it's reading your contours of your face. So you could have, they've already did tests where they've had twins sitting side by side, and the facial recognition camera can tell the difference between twins. So this is not a webcam, it's a facial recognition camera. And the laptop I'm using now, a Windows Surface Book, that also has a built-in webcam. So I'm able to use Windows Hello on these computers as far as signing in. And I think that's the wave of the future.
I think you're right. I think you're right. And here's the reason why I think you're right. We can talk about all we want about, and I've been teaching and I'm sure Bob and Huey and everyone's been teaching password managers for 20 years. And of course, LastPass was one of the first ones that really came out. I'll talk about that in a minute. But despite all the great work we do, only less than 10% of people use password managers. All the talk you would think we would have more than 10%, but less than 10% people use password managers. I want to talk a little bit about, so there's a problem. There's some problem with why everyone just doesn't use it. And of course, Ray has given us some thoughts on why he doesn't use it, because he's got something better, right? So that's so we should think about that. But the interesting thing, I wanted to just talk a little bit about LastPass. LastPass has been around for a very long time. It may have been one of the first. I think it was probably one of the first we had, and it, because of the way it doesn't store your data in the cloud. It doesn't. When you put your passwords in, it doesn't automatically store them in the cloud. It encrypts it. It encrypts it. So the information that is stored in the cloud is all encryption. In fact, LastPass can't see it. If anyone hacks into your online, into LastPass or whatever, they can't see those passwords because they're all encrypted. And it doesn't know your master password either. So the whole issue is that so that was a new change, because prior to LastPass, many years ago, people actually stored their passwords in the cloud, like there was actually a vault or a wherever, and you put all your passwords in there. But LastPass sort of changed the way things were done, and they became very popular. And they of course became. I remember when Leo Laporte, I listened to him as a radio show. He had a LastPass. One of his shows was sponsored by LastPass. And then they got really quite big, and they got sold, of course, about 5 years ago to an hedge fund, right? Like it was a money management fund that purchased them for a lot of dollars. And I guess all the original investors made their money and got out. And that's when the role of LastPass sort of changed, and that's when we saw, remember the changes, how they started charging for LastPass, and remember we covered that a lot in our on all our shows, because there was now a fee involved with something that was always free, right? And most recently they got sold again, and they're back on their own, and it's a standalone company which now has to pay the bills. So we're going to have to see, and I wonder if that had anything to do with their breaches, which Bob has talked about this past week. I wonder if that had anything to do, because obviously, since they've resold again, there may be different people involved, different things have changed, and we'll have to see where we're going with LastPass. We'll talk about that in just a minute. The other thing that's interesting, I listened to. On Wednesday, Steve Dotto. Steve Dotto, a couple of weeks ago, had a show on password managers, and he talked, and he gave a very good talk on all the password managers. And if you want to listen to the show, I would encourage you to listen to Dotto Tech and the specific. It's out on a YouTube video on password managers. But I don't agree with what Steve said, and Steve was really keen on password managers, but not so keen on the browser-based password managers that, of course, Google and Microsoft, and basically all the browsers have now is password managers built into the browsers. And I really like them. I think they actually do well. They also encrypt all your data. So it's the same situation. And I think they're very safe. And, people like those a lot better. They're easier to use. than standalone programs. So like LastPass. And so I guess whatever we can get people to use, then so they don't use 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm all for that. And they're much easier to use. So I guess that's my little rant about password managers.
Yeah, Ron, a couple of notes. At one time, the browser-based password manager was just text, and they weren't very secure. Anybody, if they get into your system, they could find out what those words are. Now, it requires you, because of the encryption, you've got to sign into your computer again. The problem a lot of my neighbors have when I go over to help them is they can't remember their password for their computer. And then when they take out the little book that they write and they write out everything down in, they've changed it 3 or 4 times and they don't know which one it is. So we have to play with all of them, and then go look at what they have for their password. I ran into that just on Sunday helping one of my neighbors.
All right.
That's where facial recognition comes in.
Yeah, maybe Ray's idea is a lot better. Yeah, right. I want to now listen. I've got 5 questions I want to ask you guys. We're going to quickly go through them, and I want you to give your comments on this. All right, and I'll start with, we'll go Huey, Bob, and Ray. If you could just sort of be brief. Here's the first question. If I use LastPass, should I change all my passwords based on the recent events? Huey, any comments on that?
Bob, you wrote about that. I think you're the one to answer that.
Do you want to answer that, Bob?
According to LastPass, it is not necessary. According to my own, I changed my master password.
Okay. And Ray, do you have any comment on that?
I would go along with Bob and change the master password. That's the key one.
All right. All right, here's another one. Should I give up on LastPass and switch to a competitor? What do you think, Huey? No?
Nope.
Bob,
Nope.
no?
Whatever one you're using, stay with it.
I agree.
Okay. And Ray, okay,
I agree.
Okay. Question number 4. Do stolen source code mean that hacks and exploits are bound to follow? Any comments on that?
It depends on what the company does as far as securing the parts that were stolen. Okay, so this is not something the user can do anything about.
Right.
This is something that the company needs to harden. And with LastPass, what was actually compromised was a test account. So they actually got in and hacked a test account because somebody got fooled and thought that the person that requesting access was genuine, and it turned out not to be that. That's how many of the breaches happen.
Yep.
It's the weakest part is always the person who allows access. And if they get fooled, the crook is in.
Should I give up on password managers altogether? Huey, any comments on that?
Oh, not at all.
Not at all.
But as I say, most of my neighbors who are seniors all have little books that they write everything in.
That's what my wife's got a book, right? Yeah. All right. Bob, should we give up on password managers?
Eventually there won't be password managers anymore. Okay. Biometrics is what's going to take over.
Yeah.
So Ray is already using it in quite a bit with the fact that Microsoft's been involved with biometrics with their Hello identity features.
Right.
And if you have a camera that has the capability, that's the greatest way to go because you don't need a password. It sees you, it recognizes you, and you're secure. If it's somebody else, they don't get in, plain and simple. So
Ray's leading the pack here, Ray. you're ahead of us.
Yeah.
There you go.
But to answer the question, I think if somebody has a password manager now, continue to use it.
Oh, yeah. Don't give up on what you've got.
Any extra protection you have is always going to be good.
Yep.
Okay.
Ron, I want to look at some comments. Not much about. Well, let's take a look at them.
Let's look at the comments. Sally Ann says, hi from Kirkland, Washington. Irving is good from Ottawa. Yes, Ottawa. Great. Vale's here. Hey, Vale uses Dashlane. Vale, of course, was my computer buddy. We fixed computers in Mesa, Arizona at Silveridge for 10 years. Hi, Vale. Steve Powell, hi from Kirkland, 63 degrees. Oh, there's Christine's here. The Google, yes, yes, Christine, from my favorite Sunday show, Geeks on Tour,
Geeks
the
on
Button
Tour.
Show.
The
Hello
Button
from the Isle of Wight in UK. They're listening to us. Well, I hope you're having a great holiday. Hopefully, you'll do a show from England. And of course, Mike Ungerman is here, out washing my classic Corvette, doing some maintenance not related to high tech. Mike, of course, is doing a whole series on solar panels and solar energy for your house on our Monday show. He also is going to do a series for us on. He owns an electric vehicle, an EV, and he's going to do a whole series for us on EV. So,
It's
Mike
not the
is,
Corvette.
but not the Corvette. No, I don't think so. Unless it's retrofitted, eh? Yeah, yes, indeed. Mike says, I feel safe with my password vault. I changed my master password too. I will remain with LastPass. Mike Ungerman. Christine Gould says, I depend on LastPass. See, I guess that's one of the original ones, and it sort of is. Olive says, hi from sunny Willamette Valley of Oregon. Dorothy, how does biometrics work for a person's digital legacy and the executor? Yes, I guess that's a good question. Well, I think with most biometrics, you'd also have a master password as well, would
Yep.
you not, to bypass that as well?
Correct.
Christine Gould from England. We went live for a few minutes today from Southampton.
Ah.
There you go. Amazing. Vale says Dashlane incorporates many of the features that Ray mentioned.
Just a big article in the news about Dashlane and the fact that they are big on biometrics.
I don't know a lot other than Vale. I don't know a lot of people that use Dashlane. Do you know, Bob? Is it fairly popular?
Yeah.
Dashlane is a very popular
It is, eh?
password manager.
Is it free? Is it free or is it paid or what?
No, it's a paid. You
It's
get
a
a
paid.
30-day trial, but it's a paid product.
Yeah, the one I use, I never see in any of the comparisons, I never read any articles, but it's fairly widely used, and as I say, it's been around for many years.
Right. Steve says if you wear an eye patch, the facial recognition doesn't work. George Bowden.
It worked with face masks, so it'll also work. I imagine if you yourself, you can just simply remove that and it'll still recognize you, and it eventually will learn that you are you with a patch.
Yeah, one of the things facial recognition focuses on mostly is your eyes. It measures the distances between pupils and the roundness, etc. So I can see if there's a patch over one eye that might throw some off, but I think Bob's answer is correct. Just pull the patch down and you're good to go.
Excellent.
Unless, of course, you lost an eye, then
Yeah.
But technology will also improve on that part. So
it will. It will. Any other comments, Huey? Are we all caught up?
Guess that's it. Yep.
Yep. I think we're all caught up. Excellent. Thank you.
Let's see.
All right. That's
know
good.
that
Okay.
the last comment was it made LastPass open source. No, not really. They didn't steal all of the code. They stole some of the code. We don't know exactly what. That, of course, is not something that LastPass is going to release. But they know what was taken, and I'm sure they're concentrating all their efforts because they've also hired a top-notch forensics company to dig deeper into this thing. So, but according to them, none of our information, the important information, was part of what was compromised.
Plus, it's all encrypted anyway.
Yes.
So they're not going to see anything. All right, let's get on. We should get on and do some work. We should look at maybe some of the news articles. Let's have a look at that. I'm going to share my screen now. And we'll come up here. will share this. Let me see if I can get a little bit bigger.
I'm just going to swap over.
Yeah. And remember, if you want to come over to our Facebook page, which is outlined here, you can indeed see the articles we're going to talk about. All right. I gotta show everyone. Do you remember the video I made on my my blower? Do you remember?
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you remember the blow? This is my wearable blower. Well, I actually made a video about that. I think it was last year, and we played it on our Monday show. Which was a lot of fun, and I use this actually all the time when I'm out mowing grass. But it's just a fan, eh? It just blows. It blows air up this way. The only problem is it sometimes interferes with my earbuds when I'm mowing the grass, I'm listening to music or whatever, or listening to podcasts, so it sometimes interferes with that. And all it does is blow air. Well, this is really interesting. This is called the Matura Pro wearable air conditioning, and it will cool down to 18 degrees. And this is it's wearable. This goes around your neck, and it actually is an air conditioner. It's about $250. It's of course a crowdfunding site. So it's going to be produced, but it actually is an air conditioner, a wearable air conditioner around your neck. And I thought, how cool for $250. What a great Christmas present. So when I was in Costco this week, they have got their Christmas trees out already. Christmas is coming. So I thought, let's talk about Christmas presents. This may be a great Christmas present. What do you guys think of that?
Well,
what is the headline says? It 18 degrees. Is that saying it reduces the temperature by 18 degrees?
It does, and it's really cool. Let's see. It tells you here is the wearable device sits on your neck, blowing air on your skin. The fan is air is -7, cooler than the ambient temperature in cooling mode, and it goes through here. The gadget takes advantage of do you know what the Peltier effect is? Containing 121 pairs of semiconductors forming thermocouple pairs, and goes on and on and on in great detail, which is above my pay scale, to tell you how they get down to that. You can currently buy this device, the Matura Pro wearable AC, for $249, and it lists where you would purchase this and how it works. But it just isn't a fan. The one that I have that was about $30. This is just a fan, right? This actually is an air conditioner. This is sort of cool.
Yeah, 250 may sound like a lot until you compare it to putting in an air conditioning unit in your home, and you only have to cool yourself. You don't have to cool the whole house.
I thought that's
Unless
cool.
you have
Yeah.
company.
Well, you can wear it out golfing or wearing it mowing the grass or whatever you want to do. I thought that's pretty cool. Anyway, so if you're interested,
maybe we should all pitch in and buy one of those for Serena Williams when she plays her next match.
I thought she was retiring.
She is, but right now she's in the U.S. Open and she just won another match.
She won the third round.
Yeah, she's going on to the third round.
Mm-hmm.
Probably could afford to buy all of us one.
I put this on there just to remind everyone that Hughie and I do learning Chromebooks. This is a new Chrome OS welcome window that will be coming out in the next version of Chrome OS. And I just put this up here just to remind everybody that if you do have a Chromebook or are interested in Chromebook, that we do, of course, do those monthly shows.
Now that Chrome browser is updated to 105, the Chrome OS should be
coming out. That's right.
Be out soon, probably in the next week.
Does anyone, Chrome, the Chrome browser 105 is out now. I downloaded and installed it.
Article
I,
on it.
yeah, did you guys all do that? I haven't seen
Yeah.
any features that are any significant. I guess it's all behind the scenes. Do you guys have any comments on that?
There were some features listed there, but I didn't go in to take a look at them yet. But if you look and click on that article, it's saying there's more PWA controls. There's some tiling options. There's some
But the tiling options are
security
behind
updates.
flags. They're behind flags, so you have to enable some flags for that.
Lots of the stuff is behind flags.
Right. I think that
I have a video out on one of the features, but it's activated through the flags.
right.
That's what I don't like about a
And-
lot of these articles that we read, whether it be on Chrome
And-
OS or
Yep.
Windows. It's they're writing on things that are still in beta or still in the test.
Well, they're
stages.
in developer, and Google doesn't necessarily mean it's going to wind up to be there when the next version comes out, because these
same
are
thing in
still
Windows.
experimental. Yeah.
Same thing in Windows, and so that's why I really I don't go to the beta versions of any of these things or test versions because I want to be working with what everybody else has on their computer. Not what might come out, which might work or might change, and so I pretty much try to stay with the release versions of these things.
And I'm just the opposite.
Yep, I know
Because
that.
a release version does have everything you have now, plus some of the stuff that might be coming.
Yep.
So for those of you who may be considering a new phone, just to let you know, and this is true in the United States as well, but in Canada, the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6a are on sale and heavily discounted in anticipation of the Pixel 7 coming out probably in October. So they're starting to ramp up the sales on these great phones. Bob and I have the Pixel 6. I don't have a 6a, but I think the 6a is down to around under $400. So they're great phones. You might want to have a look at that if you are considering a new phone. Just let everyone know that these are on sale.
And by the time you buy it, you might be looking for Pixel 8.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Now I put this up there because of my big disaster. I talked to everybody, I think on Monday, about this. I was at the doctor's office and turned on text to speech in my the Chrome or the Android OS. I turned on text to speech and my phone wouldn't stop talking, and it talked all through while I was waiting, and how embarrassing. Couldn't turn it off. I got into the doctor's office and he said, "Can't you turn that phone off?" And it kept talking to me. And I was, if I hadn't paid $800 for it, I was going to stomp on it, but it just kept going and going and going.
All you had to do was look at my video and turn your phone upside down, and it would have stopped.
It would have stopped if I had set that up.
Well,
Bob is right.
Well, I do produce these things.
That's
Hopefully
right.
somebody follows those directions.
I like the on-off button.
Well, the reason I brought this article up is they're going to make a change, and you'll be able, by voice command, you'll be able to silence your phone. So this is a new video for you, Bob, coming up, but you'll be able to silence it with voice control. So,
Ron, will there be a magic word like "shut up"?
I don't know what they're going to use, but it's anyway. So this is, I put that up there for that reason. Oh, and this is so cool. Did you guys see this article? It came out this morning. This is a new. Now you're going to say, no, this is mine.
Oh,
no, yours
is bendable. I see. Never mind.
Yeah. So this is a bendable monitor. So you'll be able to, it's a foldable monitor. And this is a follow-up on Ray, of course, has his flip phone. And we talked all about foldable and flip technology. But this is, so you're going to say, hold on, why would anyone want to fold or bend a computer monitor, right? Well, let's think about this. So this all has to do with gaming. And it's doesn't fold, but you actually have a remote, and you can change it to a flat screen or you can make it curved, right? Depending on the game that you're playing. And this is so cool, and it works great. So you have a remote, and the remote will allow you to either bend the screen or keep it flat. And this is all part of the same screen technology, I guess, that Samsung has with their foldable phones. I thought that was cool.
Size. What's the screen size?
This was, I think it was about a 40-inch, 34.
I don't think they mentioned that, but they did mention the fact that pricing and availability and when it'll be available has not been announced yet. So
Not
we have
being announced yet.
no idea how much it's going to cost.
But
it ain't going to be cheap.
But if you're a gamer, probably you have an unlimited budget, right?
Yeah.
Money is no object.
Money. But isn't that cool? I thought, now, because I can't really see me having an app. I don't particularly like a curved monitor, but there may be, if I wanted to play a game, maybe I would. So you could just curve it, right? Or keep it flat. I thought that this may be something really interesting. So just
one of my monitors is slightly curved.
Right.
And I have it at 90 degrees to my other monitor. So instead of it being straight 90 degrees, it kind of curves around. And I really like having it.
Ray, this I think is your article.
Yes, thank you for. Ron, as soon as I read this, I said Ron needs one of these. And little did I think I'd ever see the day when there would be a combination of one unit that doubles as a stylish speaker system and is also a motorized TV stand. And so the sound system is very impressive. 12 speakers, including 2 subwoofers. But the bracket allows the TV to be rotated so users can get the best viewing angle. Has a nice wooden cover. Ron, it's just under $8,000. So I'm
Christmas
sure
is
I can get one right away.
Christmas is coming.
That one.
Christmas is coming. Christmas is coming, right? So do you think Costco will get them?
They are going to be available in the fourth quarter. I'm not sure what, very well maybe at Costco.
There you go. There you go. We'll see.
And a sound bar, all in one.
You never know. What's this about, Ray? What's IFA?
Well, that's the CES equivalent that happens in Berlin, Germany every year. Yep. It happens every September, and it's starting now. The problem is this is the first live one they've done since 2019, thanks to COVID, of course.
Maybe we can get Detlef to
maybe Detlef
do a report for us.
Yeah.
Detlef is definitely
the biggest tech event on the continent of Europe. Yep. All the newest gadgets. Apple won't be there, of course. They only do their own event. But it's from September 2, starting tomorrow, to September 6th, and all kinds of products will be announced. So the link I provided in this it takes you right to the IFA website if you want to find out more specific information.
We should talk to Della. Maybe he could be our roving reporter. He could go there and be our roving reporter and walk around and.
He does broadcast from Berlin. You're right. I forgot that.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
We'll have to. He's not watching. I don't think he's.
I have not seen anything from him, so I don't think so.
Ray, was this yours?
Yes. This is I kind of discussed a little bit of this already, but this article goes into more detail about pass keys versus password. What's the difference? The pass key again focusing on biometrics like our thumbprint that many of us are used to using your phone, or the more advanced facial recognition. So a good article about the differences and where society is headed.
All right, good one. Now, Bob, this is yours. Unfold an incredible Asus Z Zen book.
Yeah, this is a 17-inch laptop that folds.
Really?
Yep.
Huh.
And the best way this one is something you just have to go to the article and follow it, because it's incredible how they do that. And it has a detachable keyboard, but it also has a built-in, if you fold it the right way, then you have a keyboard that becomes a part of the part that folds down, right? just like, only it's not a mechanical one, but they do have an attachable or detachable keyboard that's also part of this. And not cheap, but again, it's OLED.
And it's
Now,
new.
it's interesting. I was going to post a similar one. I couldn't get into, as we know, on my posting on Facebook today, but it's from Lenovo. And they have also come out with a foldable laptop. It could be a 16.3-inch laptop with a Bluetooth keyboard, a real mechanical keyboard,
Mhm.
not the touch screen. It has a stylus. You can view it landscape or portrait, touch screen. And when it folds in half, it's half the size. And yes, Bob, pricey. They start at about $2,500.
Yep. Eventually, it'll come down.
Interesting. Very interesting. This was a big one, Bob? This was this Google Translate thing?
Yeah, and it's only a part of an overall big breach. But this particular one, a very popular desktop, which is the same as what you now have in your browser for doing translations. Of course, it turns out it has a time bomb in it, and eventually it winds up being malware because it starts to collect. Oh, shoot. Senior moment.
Sure, but Bob, just to clarify, this is not made by Google.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's by a second party. But
Right.
if you do a search for a Google Translate desktop, this comes up in the first 1 and 2 position.
Right.
And it's been downloaded lots and lots of time.
Right.
And they wind up mining for give me the word.
Cryptocurrency, right?
Cryptocurrency. That's
Right.
what it turns into, a cryptocurrency mining app.
Right.
And by the time it actually morphs into that, all traces of the infection are gone. Now, when I first read this, the first thing I did was, okay, I went and looked for the app. And sure enough, a simple search brings it right up. And then I did I downloaded the app. Of course, I am very careful with how I download, so it never makes it into my computer. But I downloaded it, and then I did some testing, and I found that even Avast didn't detect this thing.
Really?
They do now. They did like 10 minutes after I reported it to Avast. But at the time that I first downloaded this thing came back as safe.
Really?
Yep.
So Bob, so I guess the question then would be, if we wanted to do Google Translate, how do we actually get the true Google Is it built
It's
in?
built into your browser.
So we don't need to download or anything like that.
Yeah,
It's
this
built
is
in.
a desktop app for your Windows computer. So you don't have to open up the browser. But of course, it's if you have a decent antivirus program, they will now all detect this as
Detective, yeah.
malware. Yep.
All right. Well, that's very interesting. Yikes.
Yep.
Wow. Google Trans. There we go. That's the same. Yep, we got that. Yeah, this was the same article. This is just another one of the 6A being on sale. Lots of sales on that. This is an article, big changes occurring on this really doesn't have anything to do with us, but how Microsoft is making some changes based on, I guess this is pressure from Europe, the EU, on how they're going to allow people to have access to their cloud services. And Amazon and Google aren't very happy with this. So just an interesting article. More coming on this in the future.
Amazon and Google are going to have to do some updates because they're tightening down on security, because you had quite a large breach for people on Azure because of insecurities, and they've tightened up on it. which means Amazon and Google need to get aboard. All it means is make their customers more secure.
Ray, I thought
Yeah.
I was thinking about you when this is the Galaxy Z Fold. You have obviously the Galaxy 3 Flip,
Correct.
but 6 tips to get the most out of the new taskbar. I thought I'm not sure if this would be applicable. Do you still like your? You're still really happy with your phone?
I don't like it. I love it.
I know. I think you're such a leader in technology, Ray. I mean, you're right on. I think you're right on the mark on this.
A week from Monday, I'll give a presentation to Tech for Seniors and tell you why it's become my new best friend.
You're on. I've got you booked in already. That'll be great. Yeah, that's good. This is let's just keep coming down here. Bob, Avast joins industry leading foundations to enable global scale digital. What is this all about?
Digital trust. Biometrics.
Oh, so what is? Tell us. This is above my pay scale. What? What are we talking about?
It's
here?
a very lengthy article, but it goes into quite a bit of detail. And it means that Web3 and all the new stuff coming out, lots of companies involved in this, and Avast is one of them.
Okay. So this is going to help us with security in the future.
That's correct.
Okay. Well, it sounds like we need all the help we can get with all these breaches and everything.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, the more help we get, the better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is this my new truck? The Rivian. Are you buying a Rivian, Bob?
Read what it says. Rivian finally delivers that RV. And it's for people, and then I put in parentheses, with lots of money. So if you like a nice electric RV, this is a nice one to buy, provided you have the money.
Bob and I were talking before the show started, and we're talking about our GM trucks that we own, and we're both going to be buried in the trucks. We're going to keep them till we die. And I said, I'm going to be buried in mine. I don't think I'll ever be able to afford one of these, but it looks sort of cool, eh, Bob?
Yeah, it does. I have a van now, but it's not an electric one.
I think the problem is going to be as the electric vehicles get older and you can buy used ones, is how long the batteries are going to last and how much it's going to cost to replace them.
Yeah, it's like buying a Chromebook now, and you think you got a bargain, and then it turns out that, oops, wait a minute, it expires in June. You can't get any more updates. And this will be the same thing. You think you got a bargain, then they find out, oh, the battery is on its last leg. And batteries for these things are atrocious. They're the same, more than what you now probably pay for a car.
Yeah, I'm seeing articles that, although one was in the 20,000 range, and I think it was a fake, but I can't verify that. But they're running between $3,000 and $8,000 to replace batteries in some of these electric vehicles. So, when it comes time to replace them, it's going to be an expensive proposition.
Oh, Bob, you posted this was an interesting article. Leo Laporte talked about this on his show a couple of weeks ago. Do you want to talk about this? This was May This Never Happen to You. Do you remember this article?
Yeah, it goes back a ways.
Google flags a man
as a sex abuser after he sends a photo of his child to his doctor, because you had their algorithm automatically assume, because, oh my goodness, he exposed a part of the child that you should never, that automatically deemed him to be a sex offender. And this is, they finally corrected it, but my God, to be labeled a sex offender, it's something that you got to be careful, because you may never live that down.
So what happened here was this man who decided he took a picture of his little boy's penis and sent it to the doctor because the doctor asked him to send. It was a rash situation, right?
Yep.
And so on the phone, of course, this automatically, when you take a picture on your phone, it automatically saves it to Google Photos. So it went up to the cloud. Google Photos reviews all the pictures sent to the clouds, and it and the algorithm, flagged it as potential, child sex crime. So they sent it off to the big international, where they store all the pictures and check and find out if it's on the list, and it wasn't. So that was fine. But Google still sent it. This guy lived in San Francisco, sent it to the police in San Francisco. The police started an investigation and investigated this guy. And the first he knew about it was he gets a call from Sergeant Bloggins in the San Francisco Police Department. And they did this big investigation, went through all his computers, everything, find out there was nothing, this guy did nothing wrong. And they wrote him they wrote him a letter and said, look, we did this big investigation. We didn't find anything wrong. As soon as that investigation was complete, Google delisted his whole account, his YouTube channel, everything, delisted everything. And it's impossible to get it back. And he said, I'm innocent. And they said, well, of course you can't talk to Google, right? There's nobody you can talk to. So it was really a very sad situation. So the moral of the story is, if you have to ever do something like that, make sure you turn the auto sync off in Google Photos. Don't allow that picture to get up into the cloud.
And turn off auto location.
Right. Huey, do we have any? We're getting close to the end here. Do we have any more comments?
Yeah, lots of them.
Let's go over some of the comments now.
Yeah, let me see where we left off. I may miss a few here, but let's pick up here.
Val, go up 3 more. Val was the first one that we missed. Yeah.
Vale, you can create various profiles to
Vale,
account for
sorry.
patches and facial distinctions. Okay.
Yep.
Mike says, I could wear the portable AC at the hot Florida car show I take my Corvette to. Yeah, you could indeed. My latest tech, Vale says, my latest tech is Bluetooth from my Super 7.3 e-bike that tells me every spec output of my bike on my phone. Yeah, you got an e-bike too. Hey, well done. I like my e-bike. Yes, that's sort of cool. The other thing I like about my e-bike is it's got a USB charger on it. So when any devices I have that I wear or as I'm traveling around, I just plug them into my e-bike, and it keeps it charged up nicely. So Joel says, you need a separation between the inside and the outside of the air conditioning to work. AC takes in air, chills it, and puts it back into the inside, but the heat is put on the outside. Okay. If there is no separation, the air will just mix and there will be no gain. Well, I think you got to read the article. I said it's above my pay. I don't understand that technical stuff, but it works. You can buy it. Joel said, what do you guys think of HP Chrome base all-in-one desktop? I think they're great.
Yeah, it looks good, but I think one of the benefits of me using a Chromebook is the fact that the portability. And when you have the Chrome base, it's like a desktop. It's just on top of your desk.
Mm-hmm. But, lots of people buy laptops and they never move, right? They sit on their desk for the whole time, and you're paying all that money for a battery, and you don't need it. Mike Ungerman, cryptocurrency mining. Yes,
that was to my senior moment. Thank you, Mike.
Mike says, be sure to click like. I know there are more than 7 of us here. Yep. If you're on YouTube, please click the like and like us. Thanks so much, Mike.
That's it.
And that's it. Well, it's I guess I'm going to unshare the screen because we're done. It's an hour. Can you believe it? We've done it.
Time flies and you're having a good time.
Another hour has gone by. We had a good time. I want to thank everyone for coming today. If you're listening to us out there, thanks so much. We really do appreciate it. Remember that coming up, we have our Monday show on Monday. You can find all the let's just here. You can find all the information about our shows and everything we do on www Tech.
Monday is a holiday here.
Ah, yes, it is here as
Canada
well.
too.
Yep.
But we work 365
Oh, yeah.
days a year,
Yep.
Christmas, whatever. Tech for Senior guys, we are tough, right? But we don't go anywhere. We just stay
No
at
rest,
home.
no rest for the weary. Oh, excuse me. We're resting when we're doing the show.
There you go.
Just four
Yeah,
guys.
Monday I'm going to have to leave as soon as we're done because we've got a Labor Day outing at the clubhouse, and it starts at 1, and we don't finish until about 1:20. So at 1:20, I'm out the door.
Yeah,
the
if you want to
food
leave
is
at
all-
1, you can
the
do
food isn't all
that.
gone by the time I get there.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see you guys. Well, listen, thanks for coming, and we will we'll see everybody either next week, same time, same place, or we'll see you on see
Monday.
everyone on Monday. Huey, I'll see you on Saturday.
Yep.
Thanks a lot for coming, and have a great week.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Enjoy the holiday
Thank
on
you for
Monday.
watching.